If humanity is struggling against the Demon King's terrifying army, you probably think some hero will rise to save us all, right? Wrong. Because in this story, humanity is tasked to defeat the likes of giants, aliens, curses, robots, calamities, demons, and so many species that have become their natural predators. Are you curious to see how humanity devises a solution at the brink of its extinction? Let's find out by jumping right into the story. Natural enemies. Natural enemies are those that are deemed by nature as undefeated creatures, no different than predators of the wild playfully hunting their prey. Just like that, a terrifying force preys on the humans. Winning against one's natural enemy is deemed insurmountable in such an absolute world. The story takes place in the present, where a battalion of great heroes is summoned in front of the king, who announces that it's time they fight for humanity's existence after suffering for ages at the hands of humanity's natural predator, the demons. The earthly surface has nearly succumbed to their forces, with their land fallen into the control of the 47 individual demon lords that currently rule their territory. Oof, that's basically 47 bosses right there. The one sitting above all of the lords is their sovereign almighty, the great demon king. The emperor announces that because of their invasion, humanity lingers on the edge of facing mass extinction. He states that they should not waste any more time cowering in fear as they possess the skills and abilities to combat the Demon King's wretched army. The Emperor has gathered the legendary 47 heroes to counteract the 47 demon lords as humanity's one true and final hope. The 9th hero, Bolst, speaks up, stating that the heroes are about to set off leading their parties to each of the 47 demon lord castles with the competition to see which one can bring down their demon lord first. 23rd hero Fasasio, the 41st hero Alicia, and the 3rd hero Abyss all have different reactions to Bolst's statement. Lewin is seemingly tensed up, but his friend Ario tells him that everyone in the field already knows how terrifying the Demon King's army truly is, meaning that they are aware of the dangers involved in this task. 11th hero Hallow is having a tough time being super nervous in the heat of this announcement. He can't help but feel a heaviness of responsibility being weighed on him, especially after hearing the king's words. Even though Hallow lacks flexibility, he won't lose to anyone in terms of the strength of the heart. At least, that's what Pain thinks. Sick. They have Walmart guts right here. Ario thinks that it's a strength that topples everything and is the most necessary for heroism. The two of them hope to do their very best to take down the great Demon King, vowing to give each other congratulatory toasts after the fact. Basically, Berserk with Griffith and Guts teaming up. Hallow and Ario promise each other, and the charge to take down the great Demon King's army finally begins. And then, after half a year, we see Hallow's party navigating through their territory. Hallow reads the news to discover that Bolst ended up dying. Fasasio was captured and is being tortured, Lewin died, Abyss died, and the other two suffered similar fates. His face grew in anxiety, especially after the subjugation of Abyss, who was the thunder hero capable of defeating magical beasts. Things were not looking good for them as they thought their chances were slim. After half a year's journey, their 11th hero party finally reached the castle of the 11th Demon King Jiaqi. Even though they've overcome hellish trials in this past year, all they get to hear about is the death of heroes who met cruel ends. Pain wants to head home at once, deeming humanity to be finished with the world going to hell. Finally, Hallow reads about the hero Ario, who failed to subjugate his target with his battle being terminated and his whereabouts deemed unknown. He recalls Ario's bright words to take down the great Demon King and offers that they're only rushing to a battle they know for sure they're going to lose. Even still, Hallow thinks that he's fine with being dumb and still wants to head off to take down the Demon King Jiaqi with his own hands. Pain did not expect him to say such words as he warns the hero of his naive actions. Hallow steps forward, stating that because he's a hero, illuminating his sword of courage with his bravado. This blade is a special sword that reacts to the wielder's magic and willpower to manifest even more powers. It is specifically an anti-demon sword, the only promising weapon against the Demon Kings. Yo, that thing looks maxed out. Hallow's heart is still not broken as he paces forth to meet his duties as a man. Because of his lead, his once demotivated party also begins to follow suit, realizing that their existence only adds to life by supporting the hero. The mage deems Hallow a true hero who faces danger in the face of fear. He and his party charge ahead, walking their way to their final battle. Pain also doesn't want to stay alone, so he reluctantly has to tag along with the crew. Haha, poor little guy. They step into the castle and don't seem to find a singular demon, recognizing this as a trap. Hallow continues to go forward and finally meets the sight of the demon lord Jiaqi, who had been waiting for quite a while to slay the pathetic humans. However, Hallow's mage prepares a giant fireball and hurls it against Jiaqi, who casually blocks it from a mile away, and doesn't think of it more than a candle flame. Okay, he's an OP villain for tanking that, what the heck. The heroes are in a pinch, especially when the old man Regis is instantly crushed in seconds. Jiaqi decimates the entire party, leaving only the hero himself to fight alone. Hallow charges ahead in spite of his fears and swings his legendary blade. Jiaqi compliments the sword but easily dodges Hallow's attacks, praising his swordsmanship. Despite Hallow's calculated strikes, the demon lord catches his blade and tears apart his arm. Damn, this really do be going the berserk route. Hallow feels immense pain after losing his limb, while Jiaqi thinks that humans prepared a pitiful last resort even after all this time. Jiaqi taunts the hero, telling Hallow to take his blade and strike him down. This unique offer stuns Hallow himself, but the demon lord is simply curious and wants him to be struck down. Infuriated by his continuous slander, Hallow musters up tremendous strength and attacks the demon lord, only to find his blade completely shattered. In nature, natural enemies really meant being an absolute predator of a species, and to humans, demons were their natural enemies. Jiaqi stood monstrously tall over the defeated Hallow, who lost all his courage in the face of the demon lord. Jiaqi mocked the human trash before thrashing him away, thinking how humans are so stupid to challenge one of the demon kings, even with such a weak level. Hallow sinks into the abyss lost in his memories. He remembers the time from 9 years ago. Ah yes, necessary flashback after getting smashed in combat. Hallow was told by his brother and friend Zabi that he should learn more about the mysterious nature of magic. He taught him about magic circles and also stated how summoning magic teleported substances. Zabi then showed him what would happen if you incorrectly drew up a magic circle, only to discover a failed summon. Zabi thought that the weird thing about failures was the fact that they manifested completely out of the blue, as if they came out of nothing. Zabi was most fascinated by this aspect of magic. Back to the present, Hallow wakes up to find Pain, who tells him that he swept down from a stream and almost died. Hallow finds his wounds treated, with Pain explaining that some folks actually happened to pass by and helped him recover. That's when Hallow discovers that it's Zabi who helped him out for the first time, since he was assigned to the mage squad. Hallow wonders why his brother is here, and Zabi replies that it's due to his mage work, as they are on a journey with tasks different from the heroes. One of the party members observes Hallow's state and realizes that someone the likes of a hero ended up in truly harsh injuries. They were just beginning to understand the formidable force of the demon army. Hallow apologizes to Zabi and tells him that Bolst and the others are all dead, even when losing is the one thing that heroes aren't allowed to do. Zabi comforts his injured brother, stating that they were able to progress towards the other plan thanks to Hallow diverting the demon lord's attention. Hallow wonders about this other plan, when they bear witness to a void-like thunderstorm emerging from the heavens. Hallow doesn't know what's happening, and Zabi enlightens him by saying that the apple from back then wasn't something he summoned. Rather, it came from another world entirely. Hallow is shocked to learn of this observation. Zabi continues that hero squads were heading to the Demon Lord castles while the mage squads split up to venture around the world. Zabi's 7th Northern Squad, with Freen and Wally, just so happened to create a summoning magic circle with the other mages, which was gigantic enough to cover the entire world. Hallow is peeved with questions and doesn't know what they are trying to summon. Zabi is shocked when demons arrive to take down the humans. Zabi tells his brother to stand down as he is in no condition to fight. He also tells Hallow that their plan was indeed a success. The mages begin their assault against the demons, except they are quick to overwhelm Zabi's squad. Hallow thinks that it's over for them, even with Zabi's magic, as despite their strategies, things are looking grim against the demons with no signs of victory. Zabi corrects Hallow, suggesting that they're not the ones fighting. He's busy holding off the demons when they suddenly get attacked from behind. To counteract the demon army, an armored squad of many units assembled to eliminate the monsters. Shooting them down, guns blazing, these super soldiers easily killed the troublesome demons in an instant. Zabi is happy to announce that they've actually summoned an entire other world from a separate time-space. Hallow is shocked to learn of this, while Zabi explains that their world no longer possesses the power to resist the Demon King's army. However, these other human beings from an alternate world have a history that is totally different from their own. Damn, Zabi's got them big brains. Pain becomes fueled with excitement while Zabi celebrates how they no longer have to fight anymore. Hallow is confused and doesn't know if these people are really aiming to save them. The humans from the different world come forth to deliver shocking news. They, too, are on the brink of extinction as mankind's enemies have driven them into a crisis. They actually came here to ask for help from this world instead. As the humans of the different worlds ask for Xavier's help, he gets completely flabbergasted. He even tries to cope by believing that the word help probably means something else for these humans. Captain Kayla is told to attend to the casualties as Stun and his teammates have returned. Kayla comes to review her injured men and thinks that they'll be fine after activating the interdimensional gate generator. Kayla says that the people of this world are helping them out for it. Halo has no idea what the heck is going on and recalls how the humans in their world have been wiped out by the Demon King's army, and in order to fight back, the humans devised a different plan. The mages were going to call for help from the other worlds, but now the very people from the other world are asking them for help. Kayla introduces herself as the commander of the anti-machine frontline squad. Xavier says hello and introduces himself to his mates. Kayla is surprised to hear the words mage and hero, confirming that they truly are from a different world. Xavier states that Kayla and her crew were summoned by them from the magic summoning circle, whereas she argues that they actually called them through their interdimensional gate. That's when the dots connect. The two worlds have just become a part of each other. Basically, they both called for help at the same time, and even though they're from different planets, it's no different than having humans share different histories. Halo questions if they, too, have an enemy to fight. Kayla confirms, explaining how their nemesis is the robots, monsters of inorganic material that were created by the humans. The AI technology in their world evolved rapidly and now bears its fangs at humanity to the point where it has conquered about 80% of the planet. So basically, humanity got enslaved by ChatGPT and other AI, haha. Xavier is perplexed because he doesn't realize why the creation of the humans would come to attack them. Kayla tells him that it's not as easy as the robotic AI, which has far surpassed the likes of humans and can create new weapons out of thin air. Xavier mocks her, stating that Kayla's crew can't contend against their demonic forces capable of destroying the world with one hand. Kayla shares her own tussle, stating that robots are the stronger foes with their advanced technologies. Pain inquiries about the weapon they use to vaporize the horde of demons. Kayla shares that even that gun would be of no use against the robots. Suddenly, they hear a booming sound. Kayla knows that their enemies are coming. And so came the robots, who surprisingly claim to be here in order to protect humanity when they're actually murderously hunting them down. Kayla suggests that they hide at once, stating that this is their strategy to bait out the helpless humans. Xavier takes them rather lightly. The robots detect a source of heat coming from the nearby area, confirming the sources of living organisms. They instantly activate destruction mode and head over to kill Kayla's group. Damn, these are some scary bots. The commander prepares her group for battle as they open fire. Even with their barrage of bullets, the robots are unharmed by the same weapons which were taking care of the demons with ease. Preparing their special armor-piercing rounds, the team strikes down the evil robots with their gun. Except that doesn't work either. The resilient AI adapts and jumps forward to exterminate the humans. Within range, it extends its arms, promising eternal happiness through death. Kayla's group is in a pinch when the sheer might of earthquake magic ruptures the ground below the robots, immobilizing them at once. Then, the mages continue to freeze them with ice magic, finally shutting them down. Kayla doesn't know what even happened and is shocked that they were able to turn the robots into scraps with their staff. Xavier flexes his skills, surprised that these guys don't know a thing about magic. Xavier humors himself, finding the robots to be easy opponents. Kayla comes to extend her hand, stating that none of their scientific technology is capable of defeating the AI robots. But with their magical civilization and magical powers, Kayla's world can stand a chance against those robots. On the other hand, Xavier believes that their scientific powers could be the key to defeating the demons. With that, the two worlds of humanity join forces, forming an alliance to defeat the foes of the other to save both planets. Halo thinks that Xavier has performed such a miracle in a hopeless crisis, stepping forward and figuring out a solution in the end. Halo thinks that he's nothing compared to his brother. Suddenly, Pain detects the presence of countless demons rushing at them. The demonic platoon is here thanks to magic detection. Even though Xavier instructed his team to cast their spells, things shifted to an even more difficult battle when the robots that they just defeated rose back up. Kayla explains that what makes these robots an invincible piece of technology is the fact that they do not have the concept of death, meaning they restart themselves even after the system shuts down. Damn, what in the name of advanced technology is that? Xavier tells Freen to recharge his spell and explains that they need to buy 5 minutes for him. Kayla and her platoon take fire on the demons while the magicians focus their efforts on taking down the machines. Zabi is glad to take them down using an area attack, while Kayla prioritizes her team to engage in hellfire with the demons. Hallow wants to help, but his brother insists that he stay put because they will need him later. Kayla's group finds actual success with the demons, as they don't seem to possess any beam-resistant armor. They are practically walking targets for them to shoot down. The armored warriors think that they are nothing compared to the robotic AI enemies. Zabi concentrates his group's efforts on stopping the robots' advance. However, Zabi is incredibly shocked when the robots adapt to their magic and actually build a countermeasure shield instead. This robot pushes through in spite of its magic attacks, casting a magic energy shield of its own. Bro became Mahoraga so fast, WTF. Over to Kayla's end, they, too, come to face with a stronger demon, who is a servant of Lord Jachi himself. Kiva is a proud warrior of the Demon King's army and actually came to confirm the death of Hallow. Kayla and the others open their fire on the high-class demon, but Kiva is unfazed and deflects their beam bullets with relative ease. Kayla realizes that this opponent is unlike the other demons, forcing them to try out their armor-piercing rounds. Kiva literally flicks the bullet right back, destroying Stan's armor. Kiva is intrigued by this external organization aiding the heroes and rains his terror to eliminate all of the humans on the battlefield. Bro called them easy lol. Meanwhile, the lethal robots bring doom and destruction their way, pushing Zabi and his team on the back foot. Both factions of humans are facing a critical time against their opponents. One man stands in the midst of the battlefield. Hallow finds himself wondering how all of this happened. Even though they tried to summon another world to save their own, the opposite happened, and now they have twice the enemies capable of rivaling even the demon army. He loses hope yet again and believes that humanity might just be facing extinction once and for all. Now, for the first time, Kiva comes face to face with robotic AI technology and can't seem to sense any mana from it. Kiva doesn't want to focus on them, as his main priority is to exterminate the humans. Kayla orders her men to protect Freen until he charges up his spell. Jiyu makes a reckless decision in an effort to drive his vehicle into Kiva, except he gets squashed when the evil force of nature literally begins tossing him around, only to send the truck flying with Jiyu meeting his end. Kayla concentrates her firepower while Hallow can no longer stand being helpless. He rushes in with his legendary blade and musters a resolve unlike any other. Hallow charges to attack Kiva, even though Zabi warns him not to go. However, his sword vanquishes into thin air, while Kiva claims that he's unique in bringing out his final bouts of courage despite his destroyed body. Hallow is in a problematic pinch after his sword expires before him, while Kiva begins his vengeful assault, aiming to bring the human's head to his master. Hallow doesn't want to give up and throws his mighty sword right at the robot, surprising them all with his strategy. Hallow aims to provoke AI technology while his friends think that he's looking too stupid. Kiva is bemused by the human's pointless attempt and is about to slaughter Hallow when, suddenly, the robots initiate their coordinated attack, hitting Kiva with their missiles. In response, Kiva impales one of the robots and draws it near, questioning the race of a technology he's never seen before. Kiva is angry enough to make the robots a target aside from the humans, except the AI also prioritizes him as a target. Thus, the two enemies aim to take each other down, allowing Zabi and his mages to cast a group of spells for the perfect escape. Kiva catches onto Hallow's leg, aiming to drag him down, except the AI launches a terrifying beam, destroying Kiva's arm and freeing Hallow. Kiva is thoroughly annoyed and transforms into a muscular beast, entirely provoked by the meddling robot's actions. The technical piece of mass destruction identifies him as a level 6 and releases its limiter on its weapons, commencing to take down Kiva entirely. Hallow and the others make their escape, and he's brought to rest after incurring his injuries. He wakes up to find himself inside humanity's fortress. Zabi deems the place safe for the time being. Zabi tells Hallow that Wally nearly lost his life, but they still managed to pull through, except many from the anti-machine combat forces lost their lives. Shards of guilt course through the hero's body, as Hallow feels that it's his weakness that has led to their demise. Zabi tells him not to worry as they are all fighting with everything they have. He advises Hallow to get some rest and also explains that things are looking a lot worse than they thought. Zabi tells Hallow to remain calm as he breaks the news. Their world has been connected to more than just one from the alternate histories. They have confirmed that it's not just their own with Kayla's world, rather the humanity in all of the worlds is on the brink of extinction. The people look for salvation no different than those of this world. They are mere refugees from the other worlds. Imagine asking for help only to get no you as a response. The group bears witness to the aftermath of the fused worlds, as the Earth has terraformed based on the histories of each version of humanity to reflect their situation. Zabi realizes that the location of the transportation circle hasn't changed, and they have issued a barrier around the area, which once used to be a quiet forest. Kayla knows that these civilizations are different from their own, confirming the fact that many others are linked to a singular planet. Zabi takes the lead and tells the people that they're going to find any stranded survivors and bring them back to the base. He also advised them not to stray far from the transportation circle, as it would be impossible to recover them once they were lost. Zabi, Hallow, and Kayla's team members prepare to begin their search. About an hour ago, Zabi told Hallow that the summoning magic left absurd effects with the various worlds popping up. He also thinks it's terrible that each of those worlds was pushed to the edge by some terrifying force. It's funny how humanity got dogged in every universe, like are we really that bad? Zabi wants to lead them to the various transportation circles that they set across the planet in order to rescue such refugees. He also knows that mages can use transportation magic, which means they don't need to rest or stop in between. Hallow wants to participate in the mission, but Zabi turns him down, declaring that he should rest after incurring severe injuries. He advises Hallow to look after things in their base, but Hallow is faced with guilt and regret, stating that he trained for the purpose of bringing down the demon lords only to end up being the one staying behind. He begs Zabi to allow him to join this mission, and he actually accepts and invites Pain on the journey as well. Pain is terrified to go on this adventure as the hero's support fairy, while Hallow boasts a stern resolve to face his future troubles. At present, Zabi and his group come face to face with various magical beasts, who are different from the demons, indicating that they're from another world. Suddenly, the beasts run away, adding confusion to the side of the humans. It's all explained when they see a gigantic mountain-sized creature walking around just casually, shocking Zabi and his team. Dude, that thing is bigger than Godzilla. Hallow brings Zabi's attention over to a building where he saw a human shadow cut across. He thinks that it's possible for it to be a survivor. Zabi instructs his team to search for such a person and find someone, except that someone is a little too big to be considered human, and he happens to be devouring the human's flesh, stunning Zabi's team with horror. The monster is the happiest to get the chance to enjoy 6 more items on the menu, while Kayla commands her men to take out grenade bullets instead. Hallow actually spots real survivors this time, except the monster is hovering right over him to destroy the hero. He pummels down his fist, a heavy attack that Hallow is barely able to catch with his strength. Hallow instructs Zabi to help the survivors and run while he's distracted, except he chooses to participate in the battle by stunning the beast with his magic. Zabi continuously reminds Hallow that sacrificing oneself isn't the best move in every situation. Haha, Hallow got that suiciding Megumi mindset for real. Zabi comes to rescue the survivors while the monster uses his breath to blow away his magic mist. Thus begins their escape from the giant beast as it chases them down with glee. Zabi yells that they should head out of the narrow passage and merely run back to the teleportation circle, which is problematic considering their circumstances. They actually arrive at the spot where they thought the magic circle would be, except the path is totally different from before. Kayla uses a grappling application of her gun, allowing the team to pass through the valley. Zabi tells them that the circle is close and they should keep running. Pain is glad that the monster can't cross the valley like they did. However, the beast literally jumps from hundreds of meters to crash right behind them. Zabi tells his team to make a run for their lives, and thankfully they pass through the territory of the magical beasts from before, who end up keeping the beast busy with their assault. Hallow observes their battle while Zabi tells him to head straight back to the circle. Finally, Zabi's team arrives on top of the teleportation circle while they are exhausted from their run. Just when they're about to leave, Hallow comes to know of a few survivors and can't help but save them. Zabi and his team have to chase after him, and they manage to fend off a plant monster with their combined efforts. The group finally teleports back to humanity's fortress as their own base, panting from their struggle to escape. Zabi tells his men to treat the injured, except his men inform him of yet another problem on their hands. The king has taken a hit, and not just him, quite a good number of people have begun fainting within their base, forcing the people to keep them isolated from each other. Even according to their magic healers, they have never encountered such unique symptoms. The king's condition is critical, and they believe that it may be something they've contracted from another world, as they are under attack from an unknown illness. Halo reflects how everywhere they go, they have enemies waiting for them. The robots, the mountainous beast, the monstrous man, and all the other creatures are just as terrifying and fearsome as the demons themselves. They were lucky to survive and make it back, as they didn't even have a proper way to defend themselves. Zabi collects his men, aiming to extract as much information as possible. He wants to know more about the world by asking the refugees and sharing information to discuss their current options. Zabi is also exhausted but has no time to rest and prioritizes action. Collecting the different refugees for a meeting, Zabi tells the people that they've gathered from other values and histories, and now they have to talk in order to find a way to avoid extinction and preserve life across the world. Oh yeah, time for a 1000 IQ strategy session. The humans collectively agreed to refer to such threats as natural enemies, with the names of each world also being decided. Zabi begins the discussion. First, he addresses the world that they're from, terming it the Magic Forces world, with its natural enemies being those of the demons. Their objective was to take down the Great Demon King and his 47 demon lords, who led his current armies to control most of the world. Kayla, on her end, states that their natural enemies are robots. The machine rule world suffers from machine lifeforms that were once created by humans as they eventually planned to wipe out humanity. The parasite world shares their enemies, the parasites, a mysterious lifeform that has attached to and taken over most of humanity, turning them into puppets. The giants world and its refugees share how they've been enslaved by roaring beasts, who despise their guts. The misfortune world shares that their natural enemies are known as the disasters, known as the calamities. Left unchecked, a single major one is enough to destroy many countries in the entire world, with their governments totally giving up. Oh, so that's the Godzilla one. The cosmic devil world has aliens as their enemies, who are advanced life forms from outer space, invading their world and raiding them. The wild green world shares its enemies with the untamed wilderness, with wild plants and animals growing crazily and overtaking humanity. The natural enemy of the neo-cruelty world is new humanity, with their knowledge and functionality growing so large that they evolved into mutated forms, subjugating the old humans. Refugees from Mad God's world and Cursed Destruction world share that their enemies are an exalted mysterious god and a corrupted curse, which has caused the world to rot. I mean, pick one struggle like damn. The Recreation Hell world seems to have some kind of gaming system as their enemy, and the Lawless world suffers from the same humans as them in a world that has fallen to the ends of a world war with bandits roaming all over the place. The Huge Tree world's enemy is the World Tree, which is an enormous life form sucking up the force of the planet itself. Zabi notes down all 13 different planets and states that despite their struggles, all of their enemies have gathered into a singular world. Zabi inquires if anyone from among the group has ideas or methods of getting past such a hopeless situation. However, this question left the entire room sitting in silence, defining the understandable peril of the many humanities. He wonders if there truly isn't any way forward and if humanity has no choice but to embrace the helms of destruction. Hahaha, not like their opponents aren't literal gods or anything. Nope, not at all. Halo ponders how each natural enemy is a literal match for the demon army, and the reason they were able to survive after running into so many ways that their enemies managed to fight off against each other. Zabi apologizes for his question and is about to move on from this topic when Halo raises his hand to share his thoughts. Halo suggests that they should manipulate the natural enemies into fighting amongst each other. His comment doesn't meet the expectations of some of the refugees, as they believe it to be a worthless attempt. Halo persists in his stance, stating that he saw how their natural enemies tore against each other, and although it was coincidental, their actions were the leading trigger to the cause. My guy used 100% of his brain at last. Zabi reflects on Halo's thoughts, realizing that he's actually correct as none of their own attacks worked on their enemies, yet the enemies dealt some serious damage to each other with their attacks. Those from the world invaded by aliens still object to this strategy, as they don't know how they could manipulate the movements of each enemy, leaving them very little chance of success. They also think that the aliens are being underestimated in their case. Zabi thinks of an idea and hounds Halo for making such a suggestion with his singular brain cell, stating that their demon army is actually the worst when it comes to all of the enemies. His yapping actually attracts hatred from the many refugees of all the various planets, as they boast how their enemy is the strongest. Zabi knocks down their claims, stating that giants were nothing compared to the strength of the demon kings. Those suffering from the world of calamities also share how their titanic enemies are literally 5,000 meters tall at the minimum and would squash them in an instant. The entire room engages in chaos, howling at each other as they struggle to make a point about the other humanities. However, Zabi is exactly gunning for this to happen. He explains that to make the enemies fight different enemies, they have to do precisely the same thing to them. That's when the dots begin to connect, and Kaler realizes how Zabi's instigation is so intelligent in execution. Zabi states that even with this unrefined strategy, he was able to create a small fight. He believes that if the many humans combine their strengths, they could come up with the ultimate plan to destroy the opposing forces. He knows that the possibility is at least not zero, and no matter how ridiculous the plan, it's worth a shot if they still have the chance of success. Zabi thinks that in a situation where each planet is filled with despair, this could be the unequaled opportunity that they've been aiming for all along. Kayla mentions how even in a world that was thrown into chaos, the two brothers Hallow and Zabi are finding hope and advancing forward against their natural enemies. We're given a callback about the concept of natural enemies, as well as Kiva's fight against advanced artificial technology. If natural enemies were to be pitted against each other, then humanity could very well aim at the chance of success. Kiva survives his fight with massive injuries, vowing to destroy the hero Hallow for his master. Zabi overviews their situation again, explaining how each humanity was driven to the brink of extinction by the forces of their natural enemies. By requesting back from the humans of the other worlds, the magic world used their magic circles to summon the entirety of the other world, except, at the same time, the people from the various different planets used their own mediums and came across a singular planet, bringing all of their energies crossing into their dimensions. And now, those who have been tormenting the various humanities continue to terrorize them in this world altogether. One of the refugees immediately loses morale, thinking that the curse has affected them all as they've angered God, leaving no way to escape. However, Masayoshi can't help but make fun of them for being wallowed up in religion. The frightened man thinks that it's all useless against God, while Zabi tries to calm the situation down using Wally's magic. Wally uses his therapeutic magic to calm him down, while those from the neo-human world think that something like a god isn't even an option for them. She asks the magicians how they're going to achieve the plan of making their enemies fight each other. The humans from the alien world also wonder at the same question. Zabi is about to say something profound, but he reveals that he hasn't thought of any plan of the sort, instigating the madman from the world of giants who still believes that they're being mocked. Zabi ushers him to calm down as everyone is scared in this situation. Hallow deploys a more forceful approach, demanding the man to free his brother. He tightens his grip around his hand, pressuring him to let go. This Paka dude got that gamer salt in him, bro. Paka is told by his friends to let go of Zabi. Paka lets him off and receives a smack from Samon, who apologizes on his behalf. The three, including Bragent, are from the Giants' world, with their specialty being more hot-headed than the others. Paka claims that they're all just blabbering about a plan that involves so much shame. But Hallow humbles him, stating how he hasn't even seen a demon yet. Paka retorts, mentioning that his own opponents are those of the Giants, but Bragent shuts him down. Judah from the Wizard Corps arrives to meet Zabi, who pleads with Judah to lend them his wisdom for a strategy. Kayla is actually shocked when she sees Major General Garasp, realizing that they're all from the same world of machines. Garasp greets the soldiers while Kayla questions about their headquarters. Garasp states that they're unable to reach HQ, while one of their branches suffered an attack from something massive and was utterly destroyed. Zabi asks about Garasp, while Kayla explains that he's the Major General of their anti-machine front, who has led many military operations against the robots as part of their war and is revered as a heroic commander on their planet. She thinks that his opinion is crucial for their plan, which gives hope to Zabi as he realizes that this man is a veteran tactician of war. Zabi wants to let him take charge, with the rest of the room raising no objects from their end. Garasp claims that he's no longer a major general but rather an irregular old man on this planet. Garasp wants to spearhead a strategy based on their current information and is told of the entire situation. They have 13 worlds with 13 natural enemies, and each world's space has also been compressed together and fragmented into pieces, locking them in a situation where everything is connected. Garasp mentions how upon his arrival, they used some kind of long-distance transporter and didn't know about the technology. Zabi tells him it's just teleportation magic, and how they basically laid down summoning circles across the planet in a last-ditch effort to call for help. The coordinates of each magic circle are the same, and with them as the perfect starting point, they can achieve long-distance transportation without much problem. Garasp believes that it will be a valuable tool for logistics and surprise attacks. Upon the topic of making the natural enemies fight each other, Kayla shares that they've managed to make the robot army an enemy of the demon army because of the work of hero Hallow. Paka thinks little of the strategy and believes that it is just pure chance. Hallow states how the demons and the robots were fighting each other on equal footing, which he finds to be an unbelievably amazing feat to achieve. Kayla also confirms and backs up Hallow, while Garasp explains that because of their large gap in fighting power, tactics are necessary to cause peril across their enemies. He thinks that if the humans can somehow control and counter the enemies to work against each other, the plan might work. However, it is still magnificently difficult to achieve that, as they would have to be prepared to make many sacrifices. Masayoshi raises his hand to add to the conversation, introducing his rank as an unemployed man. Bro, why he looking and tweaking like a Discord mod? Takuya talks him down for being rude again, and Masayoshi shares his straightforward opinion that it's not so bad to stay hidden inside as they've always done. He suggests that there is no need for them to poke the hornet's nest, and by provoking the natural enemies, they might just lead them all the way here with their cheap tricks. Masayoshi believes that they should just hide and do nothing, as running, hiding, and sleeping is their best way forward. Of course, he also thinks that during this time, the natural enemies will just crush each other out. Hallow reflects how they've always run their entire lives getting chased off by the demons, which means that if they don't face their current predicament, they have no chance to change their fates. Takuya speaks against Masayoshi and apologizes on his behalf, but Garasp actually finds his opinion somewhat helpful. He states that they really do need to prioritize survival above all else in order to collect and share the information that they're missing instead of making foolish moves. He thinks that they should spectate carefully on the back foot for now. Zabi adds that it would be naive to think that they could accomplish much by the art of observation alone. They should prepare moves of their own as they did with the fusion of the worlds. Garasp bucks him up, sharing how he saw the people just swallowed up in despair. The different refugees of humanity collectively figure that it's just best to stay put, while Pain wonders what their next move should be. Garasp suggests that they bond and improve their relationships with each other. Bro said y'all should stop fighting with each other first. Zabi stands speechless amongst the group and believes the plan is fine. Kayla wonders if he has any concerns, while Zabi shares that a plan to oppose the natural enemies comes with the natural danger of putting one's life on the line, requiring an unusual amount of bravery. He thinks that even someone who can be considered a hero is swallowed up by the same despair. He doesn't want to make Hallow carry more burdens. To everyone's surprise, Ario shows up from behind as another hero to humanity, sharing how he managed to survive his encounter with the Demon Lord by some stroke of luck. Kiba is flying forth to hunt down Hallow in great joy, following the flow of magic guiding him to their location. To his shock, he is suddenly fronted by a mountain of corpses of the demon army consumed in its pile. And what's worse is that the forces who left such a terrifying view are currently advancing towards the base of humanity. Kayla keeps up with her impressive training, and Ario chimes in to win her heart pathetically by giving her a flower. Kayla asks if he has successfully recovered after surviving the encounter with the Demon Lord, and Ario takes it pretty lightly, stating that he's a hero and doesn't have any injuries. As for the flower, Kayla literally munches right on it, claiming that organic plant matter is a valuable source of minerals and nutrients. Hallow arrives to mock Ario for trying to butter up to women again and preserving his usual personality. Hallow couldn't catch sleep because of how nervous he was regarding their plans to counter the natural enemies. He keeps thinking there should be something that he can do to change the situation even at the present. Ario questions how he managed to lose an entire arm fighting the Demon Lord. Hallow remembers his traumatic battle and states that the Demon Lord Jachi was stronger than anything he could have imagined, as he couldn't do anything in the end. Ario also claims that he lost his own battle against the 19th Demon King, which is humorous to him as he considers them to be prideful heroes. Hallow bucks up his friend, stating that as long as one survives, they can definitely win next time and that they should find out what they can do right now. Ario is moved by his words and thinks that it's Hallow who hasn't changed in the end. Meanwhile, Zabi has another meeting with some of the refugees. Bast from the Cursed Destruction world claims that the Magic Forces King fell ill to a curse that actually leaked from their world, something that they contracted while exploring outside. When Zabi asks him for a solution, Bast laughs as if to state that it's not possible, and can mostly be put under strict quarantine. Peo from the Parasite world shares that they need to be on the lookout for the parasites as well, as they can invade a human's body and take over their mind without any indication, threatening their small base. Damn, they can't catch a break from anything. Zabi looks over to Halo and the others who arrived in the meeting as they discuss strategy. Zabi claims that they have to discuss countermeasures to ensure their own survival based on Garasp's observation plan. Ario mocks the crux of the plan and thinks that it's useless. He explains using himself as a reason, stating how he returned to the human fortress base by foot, only to witness horrifying monsters that were shaped like humans with huge bodies into mountains of flesh and meat. He saw them forming groups and heading right in the direction of the base, and there were also at least 50 giants, one of whom stood nearly 20 meters tall. Ario argues that they merely have 2 days left by this point to avoid their doom and destruction, except Zabi is pretty frustrated and shouts at him for not speaking up earlier. Paka is leisurely sleeping his best dream when he is suddenly summoned for an emergency meeting. Paka is shocked to discover about the march of the giants towards the humans' base and immediately takes out his heat on Ario for keeping quiet. Ario claims that even if he had spoken of their existence yesterday, nothing could have changed and they could have chosen an even worse course of action. He decided to let everyone get some rest as the best option. His reckless reasoning is still at odds with Zabi, who tells him to share the private information to important decision makers next time. Halo is proud of his friend for showing consideration while Kayla thinks he's totally careless for misleading them. General Garasp inquires for more information regarding the giants from Samon, who shares that the mountains of flesh are actually the giants' marking. They leave such markings to show other creatures that this is their territory with their barbaric, straightforward ways. In order to expand their territory, they begin forming groups and scattering such structures in all directions. The one who commands them all is the giants' tribal chief, known as the strongest of them all, called Gimbok. Zabi thinks it's quite unfortunate that their base happens to be in their way, except there is no better refugee center for mankind other than the human fortress. Garasp mentions how they also have injured people among them at present, which means it's not realistic to immediately make an escape from their base. Haka is infuriated at the thought of getting quietly beaten down by the giants, and thinks that Gimbok wouldn't be in the current attack. He suggests for them to take the battle head-on, an idea that Garasp opposes to as he thinks their chances of head-on confrontation is pretty damn low. He declares that they have no choice but to use the special Halo plan, and while initially Halo thinks that this is some strategy to use him on the front lines, Zabi informs him that they're going to be plotting their natural enemies to fight against each other instead. Garasp thinks that they can use Halo's perfect strategy and observes their geographical location. He claims that the giants that Ario observed are heading straight towards the base using the mountains, and if they can divert them to the east of the lake, they could very well lure them into High G's world's natural enemies, who are the new humanity species. The intelligence and physical traits of the evolved humanity vastly exceeds the abilities of the current one, with their appearances roughly being the same. Garasp thinks that if the giants see those humans, they wouldn't feel a difference, which is the perfect excuse for them to use it to their advantage. Garasp states that they will first use a small squad to make contact with the advancing group of giants, smoking them with the thought of surrendering. Then, they will gain their conviction by luring the group to their main base, but instead of bringing them here, they'll lead them directly into New Humanity's territory. The giants are quick to attack anyone that shows hostility, except they capture docile humans and force them to work as their slaves, meaning there is a possibility of them taking the bait of persuasion. Bragent points out that it depends on their whims, as it's possible for them to massacre the squad immediately. Since the negotiation plays a vital role in the process, Halo declares that he will go to fulfill the mission. Kayla reasons that he doesn't really have the personality fit to negotiate, and well, the various remarks basically strike down the man's heart, as he's called immature, out of control, and the opposite of composed. Halo counters that he wants to be useful to everyone and begs Zabi for a chance, except Ario instantly drives a fist in his face, tossing him into the wall before pointing his sword at him. Based, when someone doesn't like the video, I'm talking to you viewers. Ario tells him that the Halo of the past would have no trouble fending off his previous punch. He exclusively knows that Halo isn't in top-tier condition and tells him to stay back while he takes charge. High G is impressed by his skills and thinks that he's just the right candidate. The better part about Ario's appearance is that it matches up to New Humanity's physical description, which means he could blend into their group without feeling much out of place. Zabi thinks it's a dangerous mission and warns Ario, who states that he's just the hero meant for the job. Kayla reflects on his words and believes that the hero who fought against the Demon Lord is actually pretty suspicious for having no injuries from his previous fight. Ario assures Halo not to worry, as he would be the one going ahead. Heaver reports the situation to his master, the demon lord Jiaqi, and requests for more troops to be borrowed so he can fulfill his desires. Contrary to his expectations, Jiaqi intends to see the outside world himself and nearly kills one of his goons for objecting to the fact. Jiaqi believes that it's only the weather that has changed for a bit, and doesn't really feel threatened by the changes. Jiaqi takes flight and speaks to Nudo via telepathy magic. The 19th Demon King reports how the world has actually gotten interesting as more toys have appeared for them to play with. Nudo insists that they team together as those within the 47 Demon Lords have already begun to make their moves. The Great Demon Emperor, Byaku, still doesn't care and apparently doesn't concern himself with the spectacle of natural disasters. Nudo thinks that they should operate off of their own will to trample over the humans. Jiaqi inquires if a human hero ever came to his location, receiving Nudo's response, who tells him that he hasn't ever seen a hero even once so far, which runs in the opposite direction of Ario, who was assigned the task of beating this monster. Back to the human side, Zabi discusses their strategy with the chosen members of the squad, placing Ario as their leader. The team consists of Geppetto, Shigeru, Riam, Kubo, and Shox, who fit the look of new humanity. Coming along as their guide will be Brajant. Zabi tells them to head to the areas surrounding the planned location using Riam's teleportation magic circle. The circle itself is being charged and will be ready in 30 minutes. Ario and his squad are given time to prepare for their mission while it's getting ready. Kayla shows up to confront Ario, stating that she has to make sure of something before he goes on this mission. Kayla shocks him, saying that he has never really fought the Demon King. Kayla states that it's easy to detect who escaped the battlefield and has seen many soldiers the likes of this hero. Yikes, she called him a scrub coward in every language of facts and logic. Ario is reduced to a shameful state as he confesses that his courage wasn't nearly enough. At the settlement, right before the castle of the Demon King, they saw Nudo playing with the humans that he had captured. The moment Ario saw that, his instincts overwhelmed him completely to make an effort to run away. Ario ran, crying like a terrified man, abandoning his comrades and the humans behind him. His spirit was shaken just by witnessing the sight of the Demon King, and the years of training amounted to nothing in the end. Even though he was tasked with such a great mission, which was humanity's last hope, Ario prioritized himself alone and ran away in fear. He was nothing like a hero, he was a pathetic coward in the end. Ario then hid his identity and wandered aimlessly as he didn't want to reveal his broken state to anyone else. That's precisely when the Earth began terraforming, with many creatures showing up without explanation. Ario panicked and thought it was best to return to their comrade's location in order to play the part of the hero once again. Kayla points out that the reason he didn't mention the giant's attack was actually because he wanted to avert his eyes from the terrifying reality. After returning to the base, he met Hallow, the same hero from before. Ario felt comfort brewing inside of him after seeing such a courageous man also lose to the Demon King and run away like him. However, with only Hallow's words, he realized that his friend wasn't broken at all. Hallow had determined eyes with a will stronger than ever before. Ario confesses that Hallow is different from him and is the true hero the entire time. Kayla then asks him why he volunteered to lead the mission of the Giants, as it is also an arduous and terrifying task. Ario tells her that he wants Hallow to live more than him, as Hallow is someone who would readily give his life for a mission. Ario lost control of the situation and eventually put down Hallow. He's lost all sense of morale and believes that he's pretty lame in the end. Kayla tells him that it's actually not true, and that she wanted to judge his character and intentions by having this conversation just now. She thinks that to stake one's life based on a face and to desperately crawl back up even when one's spirit is broken is actually a commendable feat. Kayla declares that Ario is someone who has heaps of courage, as he redeemed himself by facing his fears in the current mission. Kayla gives him the flower as a return gift, and he accepts it gratefully. Kayla doesn't seem to know why he gave her a flower in the first place because of their cultural differences. She wants him to teach her all about it after returning back alive. Kayla begins taking her leave when Ario earnestly thanks her, swearing on the gift to expire all of his strength to aid their mission to success. Give it up for best girl Kayla. The magical teleportation circle has finally charged. Zabi looks over to the Ario squad and wishes them the best, reminding them of the stakes involved. Haiji comes to embrace Ario, begging for him to be careful of the new humanity. Ario senses her immense trembling and realizes that she's suffered traumatic memories from their enemies. Ario takes charge and states that their mission is to head over to the Giants' invasion route, pretending to aim for complete surrender and then leading the Giants to the territory of new humanity. Depending on their attitude, there is the possibility that the giants will attack them without discussion. And for that matter, Ario thinks that their squad is prepared to face death. He gently advises them to proudly hold their heads high as they are now the main stars of the show. There we go, my man is ready to slay. With that, the giants' guiding squad heads out on their mission. Hallow bids them good luck as they disappear. The second they arrive to confront the giants, they immediately have Kubo crushed by their wrath. Their patience is running low as they instill impending fear in the rest of the squad members. The sight of the giants has them trembling like crazy, with the animalistic instinct telling them to run away. Ario bravely fights off his urges and hopes for Hallow and Kayla to watch over him, as he will now become a hero who doesn't run away from his fears. The giants wait for the pitiful humans to spout their story, treating them as tools of entertainment, like ants on the ground. Ario calms himself down, hoping not to provoke the giants and to act as if they are completely surrendering to their march. Ario finally begins his speech, declaring that they share no intentions to fight and also want to surrender. He furthers how they'll lead them to the base, plotting a resistance against the giants, and begs for them to spare their lives. In response, the giants begin laughing at his pitiful attempt. Ario thinks that this is the part where they should use Riem's magic, also known as magic therapy, to wash away their nervous feelings. Shigeru, on the other hand, furthers the persuasion by telling them that they also possess stockpiles of food and resources in abundance at their base, and with their combined technology, the giants could aid themselves greatly. He tries to gain their interest using his impressive negotiating skills and feels like he's the perfect fit for the job. However, Shigeru's confidence completely wanes when one of the giants crushes another member right next to him. Dude, I would be wetting my pants and running away. Suddenly, his face has broken composure, while Ario begs for the giants to listen to their pleading. The giants claim that they've always been enemies to each other. In fact, they've been their food, their toys, and even their garbage. Just as he's about to crush another human, Bragent rushes in to defend the girl with his might. Bragent tells Riem to hurriedly use her therapeutic skill, except she is horrified to reveal that she's been using the skill with total output since the very beginning. Shigeru thinks that they're literally about to die and blurts out his final effort to negotiate, hoping for the giants to see humanity's worth. However, he, too, is crushed immediately by the hands of these barbaric beasts. Geppetto from the cosmic devil world thinks that there isn't any point in conversing with barbarians who aren't even going to listen to reason. He switches to battle form and immediately charges in with his cosmic laser beam strikes, incurring massive damage on all of them. He thinks that by showing them the insurmountable gap between them and their technologies, he could gain their interest, except he gets squashed in a speck of an instant. They killed the graduate from Yapper University lol. Ario is left perplexed, wondering what they should do now. He thinks that their chances of successful negotiation are running at an all-time low, and they should perhaps abandon the plan and fight off these creatures. Bragent comes forth, stating that the fact the three of them are still alive means the giants find them entertaining enough. Bragent thinks that by letting them have their fun, he could do something about the desperate situation. Ario can do nothing but leave the rest to him against the barbaric giants. Bragent comes to devour the super supplement Red, which are pills made from the hearts of giants. In exchange for placing extreme burdens on one's body, they temporarily boost physical abilities to a staggering amount. They are actually the last resort of the humans against the giants in their world. Bragent devours the pills and boasts a legendary physique of mass destruction, taunting the giants for a proper fight. Even though they charge to laugh at their opponent, Bragent rushes in to slam a fist right into the giant's face, sending him flying with his power. Top 10 most epic transformations of all time. What a banger. Bragent continues his incredible assault while also suffering injuries against his formidable opponents. Ario is amazed by his remarkable ability to hold his own against the beasts, fighting a lost battle. Bragent inevitably gets captured and squashed, as even in this evolved state, he's nothing more than a little toy to them. The giants repeatedly slam their fists into the ground, pummeling Bragent with their bloody barrage, leaving his broken remains to rot. They're pretty entertained by his performance, and finally decide to hear their proposal out as they think it would be good to fight against more dwarves. Ario knows that this is the perfect chance, even though it's only Riem and him who's left of the original destroyed squad. He leads the giants into the territory of New Humanity, who are continually losing their patience. Ario arrives at their territory, gazing down on the base of New Humanity. The giants are pretty excited to fight against more dwarves of Bragent's caliber. They want to destroy and annihilate everything, except they're also prepared to exterminate Ario and Riem when Ario uses a clutch move to escape their wrath. The giants find it meaningful to chase the humans and run after the two. Riem is ready to deploy ornamental magic as she changes their getup to fit their surroundings. Arriving in the territory of new humanity, the giants wonder where Ario and Riem went. The superhuman members seem to have perfect bodies even though they share similar appearances. They confront the giants while Ario and Riem are busy trying to blend in their environment. Ario is surprised that their disguise hasn't been exposed so far, as they're not even fixated on them. The giants immediately begin their charge to destroy New Humanity's base, except they don't know what they're up against. Ario hopes for the two opposing forces to eradicate each other in one swoop. The fight kicks off with the giants destroying every structure nearby. They want to rain only terror and destruction and show no mercy to anything, leading Ario to worry if they were ever to arrive at their base. However, he's the most shocked to note that nobody is paying attention to their destruction. Ario wonders if these aren't really natural enemies and simple people living everyday lives. Then it would mean they made a significant mistake and brought destruction upon the innocent. One of the giants wants to begin crushing the humans in the hopes of witnessing a more entertaining reaction. He drives his weapon full speed, aiming at what seems to be a kid, only to realize that the boy is left unscathed with no injuries. The boy makes his counterattack, swiftly cutting apart the giant's arm with a small blade. What's more, the New Humanity members are strong enough to overwhelm the giants with their numbers as they begin exterminating each one of them. Ario and Riem are left in utter shock as the battle between the two natural enemies continues to rage on. The stronger, more muscular giants actually show quite a bit of resolve and mercilessly tear down the hordes of the neo-humans. Their bloody battle takes a downward shift with every clash, with both opposing forces mercilessly slaughtering each other, ensuring their plan is a success. However, the second Ario is about to escape with Riem's flight magic. He finds her gushing out blood and eventually dead at the hands of the neo-humans. The neo-humans mock Ario and the inferior humans for acting as if they outsmarted them in their strategy, except these beings can smell them tainting the environment. They're intrigued by how Ario led the charge of the giants to their territory. Ario smirked, stating that they would lose quite a bit of their firepower thanks to this. However, their leader plainly tells Ario that their lives would remain unaffected and wouldn't change even for a singular second. They also have a preferred hobby, which involves seeing the look of despair on the faces of the old humans, as if to let them believe their plans are working, before finally taking away their hope to turn it into despair. The Neo-Cruelty World enemies ensure Ario that they're going to kill his family, friends, and every human he knows of as a promise. They want to instill a grand fear into the hero, hoping for him to show a face of despair. Ario reflects how, ever since their first squad member was crushed, he hasn't been thinking of surviving on his own. What he feels now is not fear but unprecedented anger towards his current self, for not being able to protect others, and anger towards his past for running away. Most importantly, he is angered on behalf of the humans who were trampled underfoot without a thought. Ario brings out his weapon, apologizing to Halo, Kayla, and the others as he initiates his sword of courage in this selfish battle. Ario charges up a blazing aura of courage, fighting back against the neo-humans who are still interested in capturing and torturing him. Ario recalls how this move was meant to be used against Nudo, except he already ran away, except things are different now. Ario recalls Kayla's memory and shouts that he should be the one telling them not to run away. Ario maneuvers an incredible golden storm to encapsulate humanity's collective anger. Ario redeemed himself. Let's go. The storm of light draws the humans inside, including even the giants, as Ario cuts apart them all. His move involves a limited combination with a fairy possessing power beyond the realms of human knowledge, charging up to an explosive display of unique power. His attack is considered a hero's final secret technique, as he beautifully fights off against the giants. However, Ario faces quite a hesitation when it comes to slaughtering the children of his enemies, and this hesitation becomes costly as they begin to overwhelm him with their brutal frontal attack. Ario refuses to give up in his struggle and doesn't care for his body to be destroyed. He lunges like a star in the sky, stating how humanity's counterattack is already underway. After the climax of their battle, the neo-humans have successfully slaughtered all the giants. Even the damage they suffered is within acceptable limits, with no issue threatening their existence. Ario's body remains on the ground as his final attack amounted to nothing. They wonder if the giants are actually biological weapons built by old humanity, and realize that it's actually a new species that surfaced once the world changed. They're actually condescending and sure of their victories, deeming the new species as their toys. The neo-humans note how one of the giants is still moving, as his body transforms into a gashing lump of flesh, revealing this to be the parasite monster. The neo-humans are excited to discover the new species and think that they'll have more fun with this one. Meanwhile, Hallow receives a message from Ario's fairy, who translates the code to Pain Pain. They celebrate at the thought of successfully achieving their goals from the giants, except Pain Pain also tells them how the entire squad got annihilated in the end, while Ario is currently being kept prisoner in a confinement area for the old humans. His only message for them is not to come to rescue him under any circumstances. Obviously, Hallow is angered to the brim and paces off. Zabi tells them that it's nothing to worry about as he wouldn't ignore the wishes of his friend in this matter. Hallow ponders Ario's memories in solitude, and while he is angered at first, he finds peace at the sight of the children playing before him. Hallow realizes that these children are the reason humanity continues to fight to protect. The children actually ask about his missing arm and wonder if it hurts him anymore, but Hallow tells them that it's all good, except he ends up thudding it against the wall, and nearly collapses from the pain. The feels when you step on a Lego on the floor. Hallow thanks Ario for his efforts and rises back up, sensing the danger ahead. Descending near humanity's base, Kiva has brought his demon army to ensure the annihilation of Hallow and the rest of humanity.